designed the Gen 14 in October last year for Make magazine, and my friend Nathaniel, a very talented boat builder, built this kayak. He also made this video. Because of copyright, I can only show you a short clip of the video. It's a very nice boat. In my last video, I talked about the bomb, and I missed a few items. When we mount this bracket onto the gunnel, onto the lattice cap, I need to put screws. I suggest to use the locking screw so it will be more reliable. It will not come loose that easily. And then I need to add the parchment paper. This is an updated bomb, which I add the last two items. This bomb doesn't include a seat. And I'm going to compare it with my Gen 12 bomb. In Gen 12, I have fewer components. Even though the Coroplast costs a little bit more, this is what I pay for. For Gen 12, it cost me under $100. Again, this price does not include the seat, which I make it from scraps. But with Gen 14, it will be around $136 plus two items which I have not listed. One other difference, Gen 12 is 10 feet long, and Gen 14 with this material, you can make it into 12 feet or even 13, 14 feet long. The cost may be just slightly higher if you make a longer boat. You may have to add a few more cross PVC pipe, but those are really minor. The major cost on the Coroplast will not increase that much. The major cost delta is due to the construction. In Gen 14, we have to add a lot more things to stiffen the boat. And here, because the Coroplast is larger, I can fuse the gunnel and it can be built a little bit faster too. Let's take a look at the tools we need to build the boat. Assume that you will be using the latest fusion method, which I suggest to use the iron to do it. Then I lay out the first Coroplast and then put the second one on top. I need to put the parchment paper here in between. And I have tried it to use a regular paper too. It works too, except it sticks to the Coroplast. When it's submerged in the water or get wet, it will come off anyway. So it will save you a few dollars. The result is the same. As you see here, my friend, he has to place two long wood strips here so that he can step on it and not to collapse the Coroplast. And then you need pen tape to transfer the plan onto the Coroplast. You need an utility knife also. You also need a hacksaw to cut the lattice cap to the length you want to, and also cut the PVC pipe. You see all the screws were being mounted here. And you need screwdriver, maybe getting a drill will help too. I need a roller to make the fold lines. Since I've been building many boats, therefore I spend a little bit more money to get the wheel from Amazon and then mount it onto a piece of metal. You can mount it on a piece of wood also. Then I use the file to sharpen the edge. The important thing is the width of the edge, preferably to be at about a 1/4 inch wide, so that the fold line will be wider rather than being very narrow. If it's too narrow, it may cut into the Coroplast. There are some tools available in the market. This is for repairing the window. Again, the edge is very narrow, so you have to watch out and not to cut into the Coroplast. When I start working on my first and second boat, I actually make my own roller by using a washer. I have a 2x2 piece of wood, cut a slot on it and slide in the washer. This washer is 2 inches in diameter, which is really good. And again, pay attention to the thickness. The wider the better, or else it may cut into the Coroplast. You may want to stack two washers together to make it thicker. And then you slide into the slot and mount a screw and holding it in place. Very easy to do. And it works too. You need a caulk gun. Other tools you may need or you may not need, it really depends on what you want to do is. A hair dryer, I use heat gun. Hair dryer will work. It will be easier to make the full line after you apply a little bit heat on top before you apply the roller to compress the Coroplast. You may try to make the full line with heat and without the heat and see which way you like best in making the full lines. I would suggest to get a soldering iron. The main thing I use it for is trying to create a slot. Because the distance from here to the other side is pretty deep, firstly I will use a drill to drill a hole through it, and then I use the soldering iron to create a slot. I like soldering iron because the cut or the opening will be a kind of fused together because of the heat being generated by the soldering iron tip. But again, using a drill will work also. In my next video, I will give you more tips in building Gen 14 kayak. If you find the video useful, please give me a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. Thanks for watching. Bye.